voice crack.
A little cracky crack in there. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Bench. We're the Tovar Brothers.
What's up?
Episode number 59.
59.
Wednesday, November 29th. Last episode of the 2023 November version.
Oh, how the year flies.
That's a weird way to say it.
I still get it. We all get it.
Yep.
It's still weird that it's the end of November.
November's over. Thanksgiving is almost a week ago.
Seemed like a month ago. Sheesh.
Christmas, I believe, is 4 weeks from today.
Don't do that. That makes me feel bad. I don't know why.
Be honest, how many gifts have you bought?
0.
Me too.
Yep.
Not a single one.
I'll probably buy them the week before Christmas or Christmas Eve.
And every year I tell myself, next year I'm buying all my gifts on Black Friday. I'm going to save so much money.
Nah.
Never happens.
I'll get it when I have time to get it or when I just feel like dropping.
I hope you guys are having a great week. Happy Hump Day. Ugh, cringe.
Hump Day and last day of November. But December, as negative as we're being, pretty fun month.
November was great.
Yeah, but December is like the prime holiday.
Absolutely. On this episode, we're going to get into the news, a little Monday Night Football recap, as we had a little bit of a snooze fest last night with the Vikings and Bears. Angels Heavenly Top 10, version 13. God, you've done 13 of these.
Yeah.
Wild. You must be sick of this.
No, now I kind of know where I am, but it's just funny to, like, you appreciate the good teams now a lot for maintaining their spot. So, yeah.
We're going to do a new segment today as well. In an effort to kind of infuse the show with a little more fantasy football, because
it's a big deal.
We play a ton of fantasy football. Like me and you, fantasy conversations, maybe 3 out of every 4 conversations we have.
And we think we like to represent, I think we like to represent the regular person who watches football, who is very much involved in fantasy, who does FanDuel, who does their home leagues, their work leagues, their whatever leagues, and like, playoffs are right around the corner.
How many leagues are you in this year?
I'm only in 2, but it feels like 12.
Well, one of them is a keeper league.
Yeah, one's a keeper league and one's the bench warmers league.
Right.
Bench warmers league, I'm pretty good. I'm 8-4.
I'm getting smoked in that league.
I'm pretty good. The loss of some quarterbacks killed me. Yeah. But my other league, I'm pretty bad. So there's always a balance. There's always a give and take. But fantasy is just fun either way. It's just fun.
Yeah, so we're going to do a new segment, and we're calling it Fantasy Chatter That Matters. Every week, we're going to give you just a little bit of an insight. A little bit of 2 cents about something that maybe can help you reach the pinnacle of your fantasy success, and that is that beloved championship.
I've only won one time in my 10-year career of playing fantasy. Dang. Yeah.
I'll let that sink in for a little bit.
One time.
Yikes.
Well, the amount of times I spent listening to the podcast, reading articles, reading power rankings.
The return on investment is not.
All that just for one championship. But we just keep coming back to this.
Okay, let's be fair though.
Fickle beast.
The joy of fantasy football, yes, winning the championship is cool, especially if there's like a monetary prize connected to it. But the joy of it is just playing.
Yeah, you feel like a GM. You have your guys. You want to trade for. For keeper leagues, it's different because you have like guys that are like, oh, these are my dynasty. These are like this is the face of my franchise. All the girlfriends just turned us off because they're just realizing these idiots really take this thing seriously. Oh, yeah. Shout out to all the girlfriends and wives and partners who don't like fantasy football because it takes so much of their time. And you find your husband in the bathroom on Sunday morning for about an hour.
I mean,
just going over lineups.
I mean, Friendsgiving. I hosted a Friendsgiving this year for my brothers and friends and all that. And all the guys just talk fantasy most of the time.
It's become like the most common thing. Like if you don't know a dude, if they play fantasy football, boom, we're set for the whole hour. Don't worry about it.
Where are you on random guy showing you their team?
I don't like it, but I get it. Yeah, because I don't do it myself because I don't think they care. Then you got to explain the league, explain the teams, whatever.
Right.
But when I show me his team, I'm like, oh, that's nice. Yeah. What else are you gonna say?
Right.
Like, oh,
right. It's kind of like a little none of context. You got to see the whole.
I think if people send us pictures of their team, and like, that's a good team. But like, if it's a stranger, hey, like this is my team. You have to look. I don't know.
I think it just speaks to how seriously we take it. Like, I don't want to just. If I'm going to look at your team, I need to sit down and look at your team.
People will show you pictures of the team before they show you pictures of their kids. That's literally what happens.
Yeah, all that to say, we love fantasy football. We're going to talk about it a little bit more on this show. And then we'll finish the show with a little Thursday night football preview.
Cowboys versus Seahawks.
So glad you said that because I could not think
No, it's a very good game.
Cowboys Seahawks is fantastic.
I'm looking forward to that very much so. Seattle is in a must-win.
Yeah.
Cowboys have this thing where they can't be good teams. Both teams need to overcome some demons that they've been battling all year.
Cowboy fans are not going to like that you said that, but it's true.
It's true. And, like, it's not a knock. It's just your schedule has just played out a way where you've lost to the good teams and beaten up the bad teams.
Right.
But whatever.
Seahawks could be a big win for the Cowboys'
narrative of that.
narrative, but also their chances for home field advantage,
Yeah.
maybe catching the Eagles,
Yeah.
maybe making that Eagles game in a couple of weeks that much more important.
It's already going to be important.
they're close.
But until that, if they do this, it will be
Yeah.
fun, too.
I mean, if Eagles lose to the Niners and Cowboys win, I think and then they play the next week, then they have a chance to tie for first place.
Tell you what.
It could be a very important game.
Really quick, let's just the Eagles their schedule is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Every week, it's just like, who are they playing? Like another good team?
Yeah, they're in a stretch right now where it's been Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills. It's gone well, and now they host the Niners,
Uh-huh.
and then I think they go to the Cowboys, and then they go to the Seahawks.
Yeah, I know. We're kind of a pro Eagles team, Eagles podcast, because one of our hosts is an Eagle fan.
Yep.
But still, it's impressive. The NFL is just so fun right now. It's just so fun.
Yes. If this is your first time watching us, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey.
Hello.
What's up?
We talk football 3 times a week,
Yes, we
no
do.
matter what.
No matter what.
God, we mean that.
Yeah. Shout out to all those people who watched the Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, we're not. I'm just gonna make an announcement. We're not doing that next year.
No, we're not. We're not. It was a bad situation, and it's not happening again.
I carried a lot of gear a long way.
And I watched you carry it. Yeah, but either way,
It was a good time.
Thank you for showing up to our page, though. Appreciate it. Welcome.
Yeah,
Hit
welcome.
that like button. Where's
Yes.
over here?
What else should they do?
Subscribe.
Yes.
Turn
absolutely.
on post notifications.
Oh,
tell a
so
friend.
Yes.
Shh. Tell your coworker.
What?
Tell an ex-girlfriend.
What?
That's a good way to get inside it. It won't be toxic as hell. Just do
If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, thank you so much for joining us and listening to the audio version of Benched. And then follow us on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Search at Bench Show. We're posting breaking news. We're posting reaction. We're posting videos. We're posting fantasy advice. We're posting all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
So make sure you're on those platforms, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And then we're posting different stuff on each platform. So you're going to want to follow each one of those. And it's all at Bench Show.
Even though if you do follow us on Twitter, it's mainly argumentative.
Yeah, listen, man, I've been getting into it. Listen.
I don't run.
Yeah, that's all me too.
Yeah, I don't run our
I'll own
Twitter.
it.
You run Twitter.
I was getting into it with Ed Werder this week.
What a name to just have beef with. Ed Werder.
It's just listen.
So he's not the official insider of Benched. Can we just mark that off forever?
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's not. He won't be.
Sorry, Ed.
I'd love to have him on the show and just call him an idiot to his face, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So I will settle for Twitter. But no, we get into it on Twitter. Listen, we're real guys. We're just regular guys. We got opinions too.
You have
And
emotion.
if you're gonna, I know for a fact you've responded at least once to someone on TikTok, in a way that maybe ESPN wouldn't have, and it got taken down.
Yeah, I did. I tried to do it twice, and they hit me twice. Yeah.
All that to say, we're some regular dudes. If you come at us, chances are we'll come back at you.
Yeah. We're not. My only boss is what you know. What? Never mind. What leads me in life are the things that are in between my legs. Okay, I'm not. If you come at my team, especially the Broncos, especially right now, it's on. Okay, and Broncos Twitter is all these. Okay, sorry, I'm not gonna get on.
Yeah, you're getting on it right now.
I'm not getting on.
You're getting on it right now.
Follow us on Twitter.
We digress. Yeah, follow us on Twitter.
All that to say.
Doesn't it sound great?
Don't you want to follow us now? We're really selling this.
Before we get into game recap, I want to do a couple of things here. On this day, 13 years ago, Texans Andre Johnson and Titans Cortland Finnegan had that infamous in-game fight.
Yeah.
Did we all remember that
Finnegan
fight?
got rocked.
Oh, he's still smiling. He had that weird, that didn't hurt smile, but Andre Johnson was a man.
You got your helmet torn off and a right hook from Andre Johnson, who was a specimen, who probably still is a specimen. He's
right.
Yes, and I did not like Finnegan, so it was nice. And everyone knows that. That's a famous clip.
Yeah, I like it, too, because you never see the annoying cornerback get beat up.
No,
Like,
not
I would
anymore.
have loved to see, Calvin Johnson beat the crap out of Richard Sherman.
Like prime Richard Sherman?
Yeah. Just beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Punch him right in the mouth. That would have been awesome.
Well, Trent Williams did that one time.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
I've
seen that clip very often.
Yeah.
But yeah, Andre Johnson, Cortland Finnegan, classic. I think if they do that today, they might get thrown out of the league. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're definitely getting a hefty fine.
Yeah, you might lose your driving privileges.
I don't know.
By the way, episode 59. Do you know any 59s? It wasn't London Fletcher, 59.
London Fletcher was 59.
Famous Redskin commander, Washington football team linebacker.
Yeah. D'Amico Ryans.
D'Amico
Ryans was
Ryans.
59.
Current one of the favorites for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, it's so cool, too, that we forget. I mean, we don't forget, but I don't think about it often that he was a great player for the Texans franchise.
Yeah.
The first great, not the first, but one of the first great players in their franchise.
Yeah, him, Andre Johnson, J.J. Watt all belong in if they have a Ring of Fame or whatever. He was a phenomenal player. Part of a good defense, too. Him, Brian Cushing, Joseph. What was their cornerback?
The cornerback, Jonathan Joseph?
Jonathan Joseph.
Yep.
Doesn't sound right. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
59 is a pretty this is the end of the linebacker era in the 60s.
Oh, lineman, baby. 62 is coming.
We know what that is, but lineman, but show some love to us and big boys, man.
It is episode 59, and 100 is going to be here before we know it, so we got to start planning something for it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that rhymed. Bars. Okay, as we stand here after week 12, I wanted to update real quick as we get kind of wind down to the season here and start to talk some draft stuff. How crazy is that?
I love draft. I love the NFL. I love but draft stuff is so freaking fun.
Current top 5 picks after week 12, the Bears hold the number 1 overall pick. The Panthers don't look like they're getting any better. So great news for the Bears that they just fired literally everyone on staff.
We'll talk about that in a second.
We'll talk about that.
Yep.
Cardinals at number 2. Do we have questions about
Not
Kyler?
looking to we'll talk about that in a second.
He looks healthy. He doesn't look good yet.
Yeah.
He looks healthy, though.
Yeah.
Patriots, dumpster fire. Jeez.
The
number
worst-
3 right now.
About the worst you can get in the NFL.
Bears, again, at number 4, and the Commanders at 5. So those are the top 5 picks so far.
The Commanders is surprising because they're like a solid team.
Yeah. And if they believe in Howell to have the number 5 overall pick, could be really nice. Maybe Marvin Harrison drops there.
They have so many wideouts that they can't feed. They don't need another one.
Let's get into a quick game recap here. On Monday night, we saw the Bears beat the Vikings 12-10.
In a snoozer.
Yeah, I thought we just thought, I guess maybe we hoped it would be a shootout.
It was not.
It was not. It was a defensive struggle and a kind of an unnecessary defensive struggle. The offense has kind of played into. It was more bad offense.
They had some 8-year-old kid calling plays for that Bears team.
Yeah, on the Bears side, they were just weirdly conservative. It almost felt like
So conservative, they weren't even throwing it past the line of scrimmage.
I have an explanation for it. I think last night was a straight up live interview for Justin Fields. I think they wanted to see him do a certain thing. They don't care about winning the game. They obviously don't, they don't care about fantasy. They don't care about. They wanted to see Justin Fields make quick, precise, accurate decisions. I mean that maybe
It was weird. They kept running the same bubble screen or smoke screen to different wideouts. It just was not creative. They didn't even get their run game going because they were so focused on. They were so conservative. They didn't even throw past the line of scrimmage half the time. It was just weird.
Yeah, he had a career high passes at or behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, maybe that's the reason why.
Insane amount of bubble screens for receivers.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
a ton of
DJ Moore had 11 catches because he just caught not a lot of yards for that. But yeah,
Justin Fields threw 37 times, completed 27 of them for 217 yards.
That's math is not mathing.
Yes. On the other side, Dobbs, nothing wrong with the play calling there. He was just bad.
The Dobbs sure not. Yeah, he's not a great showing in prime time.
Yeah.
They lost. He threw 4 picks. Two of them were just bad.
Do you think Kirk Cousins called him and said, "Listen,
listen here, you little."
No. Okay, not like that.
Oh,
Kirk Cousins is a gentleman.
Listen here, you little son of a gun.
A little whippersnapper.
Little whippersnapper.
No. Does Cousins call him and say, "Listen, you don't want to start playing bad in prime time. That'll never leave you."
Or he has the Cousins curse.
Oof. I don't believe in that.
Maybe the Vikings quarterback
Cousins
from
plays
now on.
very well in prime time, so I don't believe in that.
But still, not the greatest. We've been hyping him up just for
threw 4 picks,
Yeah.
185 yards, which honestly is surprising to me because
Yeah.
he had like less than 50 for most of the game. Kind of opened it up there at the end, but the Bears win 12-10. It was a kind of a field goal / field position type game. We saw really good defensive performances, especially from one Jalen Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
upcoming free agent for the Bears.
He could have had 2 picks on the night. He dropped a very easy one. But, yeah, he's looking fantastic. I'm so curious on where he goes. Because he's a star in the making. He's fantastic. He should stay with Chicago. That's a good defense now.
Yeah, I was about to say, last night I saw some pieces that are really exciting for the Bears. Montez Sweat flashed. He looked really good.
That's looking like a very good trade.
Those linebackers looked solid, exactly what you want them. And then Eddie Jackson and
Brisker.
Jaquan Brisker. And then there's a cornerback. I'm not going to remember his name.
Gordon.
Gordon played really well.
Got torn off, and they flagged him.
No, the guy who made Justin Fields fumble. He popped him. It's like 44 or something. I think it's Terrell Smith.
Yeah,
Terrell Smith. Anyways, they got some building blocks there on defense. I hope Jalen Johnson stays around.
Nice unit too. Yeah.
Yeah, but 12-10, fun game if you just like defensive.
This is the definition of a divisional game. This is what sometimes you get some doozers.
Yeah. Let's move on. Actually, I want to say this real quick. After this morning, a report came out that Dobbs' time as a starter might be coming to an end when asked about a quarterback change after the Bears loss. Kevin O'Connell said, we're going to take a look and evaluate.
We're going to take a look and realize we have no other quarterback on the roster who's as good as Josh Dobbs.
That's the problem.
Listen here. I love you, Kevin O'Connell, but don't overthink this. He's the best quarterback on the roster.
Easily.
Yeah, so I understand the messaging, but it's not going to work, buddy.
Let's get into the news. The news is brought to you by 818 Brewing. If you're in the LA area, we have the perfect spot for you and your crew to watch the next game. 818 Brewing has the perfect tasting room to get together with your buddies, grab a drink, and enjoy the game. Their selection of beer includes something for everybody and is brewed on site. Stop at 818 Brewing at 8953 DeSoto Avenue in Canoga Park. That's the LA area, of course, and we'll see you soon.
And enjoy responsibly.
Yeah, please enjoy responsibly. We should say that.
We should say that.
Let's get into the news here. Colts starting running back Jonathan Taylor could possibly miss some more time here. He suffered a thumb injury. Could be Zach Moss time again.
How important is a thumb to a running back?
I mean, I guess to secure the ball, right?
You could just use it with one hand.
Maybe you could brace it, and that's good enough. But
yeah, this is weird when I saw it because I feel like you could just shoot up, get some pain meds, get a nice wrap, and then just kind of figure out when or where. Unless it's worse than they're telling us.
This is now though a very expensive thumb that you must take care of. So it could be hey, we need you next year when Anthony Richardson comes back, and maybe we have a chance.
Tell you what, he's looking good though.
Yeah,
and it's funny too. So after his big game, he got drug tested immediately by the NFL. The No Fun League was right in to say, "Are you cheating?" No, he's just a good player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantasy-wise, go get those waivers in on Zach Moss because he was a monster when he was the starter there.
Absolutely.
Good for you, Zach Moss. Moving on here, current Fox analyst. I don't know if you heard this yet.
I have heard this. Okay. It's ridiculous.
Fox analyst and former Panthers Pro Bowl tight end Greg Olsen, who is, let's grade him on the mic, a B minus? B?
B minus.
Okay. Would be interested in the Panthers head coaching job.
Jeff Saturday has really messed up the league. Now any former player thinks that they could coach any team at any point.
Antonio Pierce.
Tony Pierce was at least on staff and was coaching. Yeah. That's okay. He was a coach. But Jeff Saturday out of last year, out of the ESPN booth came out or whatever. Now, I don't know. At this point, just put Steve Smith there if you can't find a coach.
Yeah. Do you think this has anything to do with some of these coordinators being put in head coach position and they just aren't good at either?
I think it's just literally we don't want to mess up the hierarchy of coordinators. Let's just get someone who's just going to be a figurehead.
Yeah.
And then the choices will be made behind the scenes. He'll just be the guy with the headset on.
And also the CEO head coach has worked as well.
Yeah.
You think of guys like Mike Tomlin. Mm-hmm. Who else am I thinking of?
No. He calls plays. No, but there's a lot of those
kind of guys. I can't think. Nick Sirianni does it in Philly.
Yeah.
He doesn't coach either side of the ball. They just kind of oversee the operation and then obviously consult each side. But we might see Greg Olsen there on the sidelines for the Panthers. Good news for Bryce Young? Probably not.
This is turning into a disaster for Bryce Young. We've already hit the headlines where it's like, can he come in and fix Bryce Young? That's not what you want to hear. 12, 13 games into his first year. Shout out to Bryce Young. He's an incredibly patient man. I haven't heard one negative word come out of his mouth all year.
And we're going to get into the Frank Reich firing here in a second. I just want to cover a couple things here.
Yeah.
There could be 7 to 10 NFL teams looking for new head coaches per Adam Schefter. 7 to 10 teams.
Well, we already know 2. So now there's going to be...
Jeez.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of guys.
Because look at, you know what, and it's no surprise, there's no secret or whatever. The amount of quarterbacks that are hurt this year are costing a lot of coaches their jobs.
Okay, does Eric Bieniemy get a head coaching job this offseason?
Nah, it's too, I don't think anyone's going to...
No? 7 to 10 jobs available. You don't think Eric Bieniemy gets one of them?
Maybe he does. I mean, maybe someone, I'm not overly impressed by that Washington
Ben Johnson,
offense.
100% if he wants it.
Ben Johnson, the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, I'm blanking on his name. The OC for the Eagles, I've heard his name.
Brian Johnson.
I'm blanking on all these names. I feel like an idiot.
Brian Johnson. The OC for the Ravens, you said?
Ravens. Oh no, the DC. The young.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I
A lot of young guys in the league that could get shots. Also some old.
Schwartz. You think Schwartz gets a shot?
I would love Schwartz.
Browns?
Yeah, he has proved that he still has his fastball a little bit.
Yeah.
He can still call a pretty good defense. I would love him to stay in Cleveland, but look, if you're like the Bears and you're trying to get a defense right,
or if you're the Bears, you're bringing Schwartz to be your defense. Well, I mean, Eberflus did a pretty good job with the defense, but I like the combination of Schwartz and then bringing maybe Joe Brady as your OC.
I love Joe Brady. again. The Bills would be dumb if they move him. I know they lost. They lost to the Eagles in overtime on the last minute. Yeah, Joe Brady should be part of someone's staff if they're smart because he's a fantastic coordinator.
We're going to see a lot of movement here in the coaching staff and the quarterback room, so it should be a crazy offseason.
Yeah,
because those, for the most part, those are the 2 most important.
Then you have the big elephant in the room. You have the Belichick thing overlooking where if he retires, if he moves on to a different team. Imagine how the lack of fun that will be had in Washington if they hire Belichick and keep the enemy. Just a zero fun team.
It'd be the Patriot way.
That's a real thing.
Let's check in on Chase Claypool real quick.
What's up, Chase?
The Dolphins traded for Chase Claypool from the Bears 7 games ago. He's been inactive for 4 of those 7 games.
That's a good start.
And in the 3 games he did play, he has 1 pass caught for 15 yards.
Okay, so you're telling me that he's heating up.
How is he that physically gifted and can't even be like a wide receiver 3?
I don't know. He's showing.
What is going on?
That sucks. I really believed in him. I hope he comes back. He's so young still. He could still come back.
When I first saw him play, I thought he is wide receiver 1 attributes.
Yeah, he
came
in
straight up.
Was it the same year as DK? Or near the same year, and he was the comp to DK that I had in my head. He's just DK Metcalf. He's a big, strong athlete who's a decent wideout. And DK has turned into a good wideout, as opposed to Claypool just stayed a good athlete. Never turned that wideout card. I hope he turns out. He's a fantastic player to watch when he's right.
Crazy talent. Cowboys are hosting former Colts.
There we go.
Am I saying Colts?
I don't know. You're cold.
Former Colts star linebacker Shaq Leonard or Shaquille Leonard.
Shaq Daddy.
What's his actual first name?
The Shaq what?
His actual first name?
I don't know. Shaquille.
No, it's not. I know it. Dang it.
If you know it, I am not aware of it.
Anyway, he's going to meet with the Cowboys, but someone did tell Adam Schefter that he's going to meet with the Eagles later on this week. Those 2 are in a dead heat for this guy. Eagles need him now.
Just lost Cunningham.
Yeah, they just lost Cunningham. They'd already lost to Kobe Dean.
Uh-huh.
It's an interesting situation because they need him way more, but they have way less money.
Yeah. It's gonna be more of you gotta sell me this pen, that kind of deal. You gotta sell this guy less money to go to a better team or more money to go to a worse team. That's only because the records are different. Not because Cowboy fans. I don't want any. The Cowboys.
I'll say the Eagles are better than the Cowboys. They beat them.
Okay.
Dolphins are expected to sign defensive end, blast from the pass. How's that, ass? Jason Pierre-Paul.
What's up, Jason? Old 7 fingers.
Good old 7 fingers himself.
I bet.
They, of course... Nope. Stop it. They, of course, just lost young pass rusher Jalen Phillips. Okay, we have a couple minutes here. Let's talk Frank Reich. The Panthers fired Frank Reich per Tom Pelissero, and then they also sent Josh McCown packing back to the high school football coaching ranks.
See Josh with your sweet hair.
And Deuce Staley also.
Apparently, he's a good coach. I don't understand why he keeps getting fired.
He's been fired like 3 straight years.
You know what turned me off to him was that Hard Knocks thing. Like, bro, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Stop trash talking every coordinator.
He's kind of in a weird, like, he's always been an assistant head coach / running back coach. Like, what is that?
I don't know.
Do head coach just like, is he like the muscle?
He should just go right back to Andy Reid and just be a coach there for the next decade. Just be safe there.
Yep.
Do fine.
But anyway, so David Tepper, their owner of the Panthers, just cleans house. Reich,
Once
McCown,
again.
Deuce Staley.
Yeah.
Everyone's out. Mid-season, back-to-back years. First of all, let's talk about how multiple Panthers players found out about the firing through social media. So they did not tell the team first. Is that
I feel like that's normal.
that fine? I think
It's
that's fine.
normal now. Yeah.
The bigger thing here is the narrative immediately came out that Tepper is the one who wanted Bryce Young, and Stroud is and Reich and McCown and those boys wanted C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, because they were just drooling all over Stroud at his impressive pro day. Everyone saw the video.
Yeah.
Dapping him up after. What's up, man? You know all that stuff.
C.J. Stroud, I believe this. He has cost Reich his job more than anyone else.
Yeah.
If he wasn't playing the way he was playing, it wouldn't put the pressure.
Yeah. If Stroud was. Yeah.
And make just the Bryce Young look that much worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like C.J. Stroud is costing people their jobs.
That's what good quarterbacks do. Look how many look how many head coaches were fired because of Brady, because of Manning. Yeah, it's what good QBs do.
I mean, what a way to, because you always hear players talk about like, oh, I know how many people were picked before me, or people didn't believe in me, they passed on me, whatever. What a way to get back on a team that passed on you than to cost that guy who passed on you his job.
Yeah, yeah. He won't say it. He's an incredibly nice guy, but he's like, take that, bitch. You ain't pick number one, huh?
Yep. You call someone the B word every single show.
Just call me. What's the guy from Breaking Bad who says bitch a lot?
Bitch. Oh, is that
Jesse Pinkman?
Jesse Pinkman.
Just call me Pinkman. No, it sucks. Is Reich now? I think we talked about it off air. Reich retired, but I don't really believe all these coaches say they're going to retire.
Yeah, he said that's pretty much the end of his football journey.
Nah.
62. He said he wants to move on, but we'll see.
Just
we'll see. He was a talented offensive coordinator.
Take 2 years off, man. Go.
And I think people would still want him in that role.
They're still paying you for 2 more years of work. You don't even have to work.
Right.
Go explore the world. Go, I don't know, do what old white guys do. Right up down the coast of California, listening to the Foo Fighters.
Tepper did come out in a press conference that he held himself. I don't know if that's usual, but he held a press conference and basically explained the process of Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud and how that all went down. Apparently there was a trade that was supposed to happen, didn't happen. And then he said basically the decision to pick Bryce Young was a group effort that he had the opportunity to veto and didn't. He supported them. We'll see how much of that is true.
A lot of he said, she said.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem...
Tepper, by the way, a moody owner. I'm not sure if...
Do you hear what he said about that?
What?
He said, I have a lot of patience. People who work for me outside the football world, they don't want to leave me. Kind of like, you could tell he's reading. My guy's on Twitter.
Listen, I'm a pretty fun guy.
That's what it sounds like.
I'm fun.
People don't usually leave me.
Yeah, like people love me.
5 years, you fired 3 coaches.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how attractive that job is now, buddy.
Let's take a quick break, and then we're getting to Angels Heavenly Top 10.
Yes. Let's do that. I did not respond.
Sorry, I made a quick left there.
I thought we were going to go on. Okay, cool.
Be right back. All right, we're back, and before we get into Angels Heavenly Top 10 version 13, we want to talk a little more about the Panthers. I feel like we ran out of time there, and there's a lot more there to unpack.
It's a big deal.
We talked about Frank Reich. The other side of this coin is Bryce Young's still there. And now his whole coaching staff's gone. The system they had is gone.
The guys who bought in on him, being undersized, being not the most athletic guy in the world.
Yeah. So I'll say this before we get into before you jump in. I'm gonna let you go on Bryce Young, because I know you have a lot to say. I want to say it was a mistake to fire Frank Reich. You're 8 games in, or 12 games in. There's no weapons here. There's no O-line here. He didn't pick the guy he wanted, obviously. Like, I don't care what David Tepper says.
Yeah.
McCown and Reich wanted Stroud.
Yeah.
100%. And so you fire the coach 12 games in. That just doesn't make sense. Now you have Bryce Young, who these quarterbacks who need to come in and learn just multiple systems year after year, that never goes well.
Baker Mayfield example.
Exactly. And I think it's a mistake for the development of your young quarterback. It's a mistake for future coaching hires. Like, who wants to go here?
That's true.
Like, if I don't turn around 12 games, I'm getting fired. and I'm starting my coaching career, Ben Johnson, with a early firing because I didn't turn Bryce Young into an All-Pro in 12 games. It's a tough sledding on that end. But I mean, Bryce Young, what do you think?
I just hate that we still don't know if he's good. Like, we watch his games, like, oh, see flashes, but then we also like look at the roster and look at the supporting staff. It's like he has no one to throw to. I know we don't say that about C.J. Stroud. He has probably the same amount of talent, maybe a little bit more talent. But either way, like, you feel bad for Bryce Young. Number 1 overall. He didn't ask to be picked by the Panthers. You know, like, he went to his situation with his owner. Is very emotional. 12 games, if you're not better than C.J. Stroud, is tough for any quarterback.
Right.
Or if you're not. But also on Stroud, also on Bryce Young, too, he has to play a little bit better, too. Like, he also cost Reich his job.
Right.
He had opportunity there's winnable games there in their 12 games. You have to just win games, man, and it just sucks that the number 1 overall pick. You hate to see another bust, especially with Zach Wilson just being benched. You hate to see, because the quarterbacks will get, if he's not good, he will still get another 3 years of starting in the league somewhere.
Right.
And you just hate that this kid who just didn't ask to be put in this. Just played football for Alabama and played really good. I feel bad for him. I just feel bad for him.
Really?
I do.
I guess I do feel bad for him in the sense that he has to learn.
Now it's just
But this is just the business. I think he's getting a rude introduction of, hey, this is the business now.
Yeah.
Like, there are owners who have complete control of their team. This is not the NCAA. There's not multiple checks and balances. There's one guy who owns this team, who owns this business.
Yeah.
And some are better than others, and some are patient than others, and some have different expectations quicker.
Who would you want there to be the head coach?
Head coach?
And then coordinator or whatever. You can't say Joe Brady because he was fired by Tepper.
I think Bruce Arians would be a good fit.
Okay.
I think he would kind of whip the locker room into shape. I think he's different than Frank Reich in every single way. And I think he's shown he's an actual quarterback whisperer.
I have a spot for Arians, but that's not it.
Yeah, I think Bruce Arians would be good. I think whoever it is, it needs to be centered around Bryce Young. And you have the choices of course Ben Johnson and guys like that. But I think they need to go in a little more of I don't know if they're builders as much as they know what to do with talent type guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd go Bruce Arians.
Yeah, there's a lot of young coaches. I don't think the defensive head coach is the way to go because then what happens then is that your offensive coordinator gets poached every year if you're a good team.
Right.
So you got to keep on replacing. You have to get a guy who's just bought in on. Look what Mike McDaniel did for Tua. Now no one questions whether he's going to be the guy there. No one questions whether he's like the franchise guy. Look what Dan Camp or before that Sean McVay did for like Jared Goff.
Yeah.
So, but either way, Frank Reich is not done. I guarantee you he's not done.
I think he is. I think he's
just going to be a coordinator somewhere,
I think he's going to walk away. I think he's that type of guy.
That's how he wants to end his career? There's no way. The competitor in him in a year would be like, I'm going to have the itch. He'll be on Fox somewhere next year.
I've watched a lot of Frank Reich. He's competitive, obviously. He's played football. He's been coaching for a while. But I think there are things much more important to him, like in life in general. I don't think it's like I live and die and breathe and eat, and my world is going to end once I stop playing football. I think he's involved in other things enough where, and I think he doesn't blow smoke. I think if he says he's done, it means he's probably done.
So, 12 games into the season, is this like the worst trade for number 1 overall pick?
Was Lance number 1 overall? Number 2, huh?
He was 3, or they traded up a lot.
The Bucks or the Cardinals didn't trade for Mayfield.
So basically, what you can do with this trade, you can put Caleb Williams probably because he's number 1 overall this year. So you can just say Caleb Williams plus
DJ Moore,
plus 3.
But for your mental health, Panther fans don't do that.
Yeah, it's once you start breaking down what these picks are, like holy crap, we spent a lot on this guy.
And yet, that's how you need. If you need, go get a guy. And sometimes you're going to miss.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going to, draft.
Jamarcus Russell, Zach Wilson.
And sometimes you're going to draft Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to draft those guys too. So I think it's worth the risk. I think you go for it.
And it also proves how hard it is to draft the quarterback.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's get into Angels Heavenly Top 10 version 13.
Angels Heavenly 10.
Oh, welcome back to Angels Heavenly 10. We will start here at number 10 with the Houston Texans. They only lost by Sunday They only lost on Sunday because a backup kicker missed a 58-yard field goal. I am not going to punish them for that. This team is fun. They're fearless. Their game against Denver this week will be a very fun one. I'm just so bought in on Stroud. I'm not going to punish them. They will remain here at 10 like they were last week.
Oh.
At number 9, the Cleveland Browns. Sunday's loss was heartbreaking. But bigger than that is that they now have a hurt Myles Garrett and might have to start old man Joe Flacco. The Cinderella story might be coming to an end. Right before our eyes, this team is just devastated by injuries. No one's gonna blame them for if they fall off here. Love this team, but they will fall here to number 9. At number 8, the Miami Dolphins. Beating up on the Jets cost them their best pass rusher. Jalen Phillips just got announced he's out for the whole year with a torn Achilles. But the next 3 games, they play Washington, Tennessee, and the Jets. They could go on a nice end of the season run here. Jane Ramsey and that defense looks pretty good. But yeah, they remain here at number 8. At number 7, the Dallas Cowboys. Much like the Miami Dolphins, beat up on bad teams, lose against good teams. Despite that, Dak's having a very good year. Defense is still fun to watch. Seattle, the game on Thursday against the Seahawks is huge for them. If they win that game, they could very much move up this list and help shake that narrative of they can't beat good teams. At number 6, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Huge win over the Texans to help them maintain their top spot in the AFC South. For a hot minute, they were the number 1 seed in the AFC until a couple games played out.
Yep.
But either way, they played tough, and this is a must-win, and they prove that in must-wins, they do that.
Lawrence threw for 364 yards.
Yep. And outdueled the phenomenon, everyone's favorite child, CJ Stroud. Winning matters most, and they are doing a lot of that. So they will land here at number 6. At number 5, the Detroit Lions. Back-to-back weeks of slow starts is worrisome, and now has cost them 1 game against a team that they should have beat, Green Bay, on Thanksgiving. Also defensively, they're showing a little bit of holes there. Maybe they need more help on that side. Maybe they should have been more aggressive at the trade deadline. But either way, they're still a top 5 team. I think when they're right, they could beat anybody. But as of right now, showing little holes, they'll remain at number 5. At number 4, the Baltimore Ravens. They head into their bye week and they sit on top of the AFC with a record of 9-3. This team has had so many injuries, but yet still manages to win big games. They have some fourth quarter woes a little bit, but they're 9-3. Winning matters most above all. They're only at number 4. I'm sorry. They're only at number 4 because of the elite teams above them. This is not an indication that they're bad. Just this league is so full of good teams that they land here at number 4. Speaking of which, at number 3, they moved down 1 spot. The Kansas City Chiefs. This team overcame a 14-point deficit against the Vegas Raiders, and have found their footing on defense again. But this team just isn't the same as last year. And that's not meaning that they're bad. They went from like elite to a little bit less elite. They just don't, I don't know. They just don't strike me as the same team. But either way, they're still a top 3 team in the league, and they land here at number 3. At number 2, the San Francisco 49ers. When this team is healthy, they're just different. They're just capable of beating anybody. An impressive win over Seattle, a spanking. CMC still an MVP candidate. He won't win it, but he still is in that realm. And defense is just phenomenal. Sunday's game against the Eagles is going to be phenomenal. This team is riding high. They're all healthy. Last year when they lost to the Eagles, their out was that they were not healthy. They're healthy now, and because of that, they land here at number 2. At number 1, once again, the 10-1 Philadelphia Eagles. If you don't think they're the best team in football, then you're just wrong. Led by future MVP Jalen Hurts, this team just knows how to finish and win games. The best in the league, 10 wins. When maybe half their games they didn't even play that to their best ability. This team just good at. You can say, well, they're not good. They're not good the whole game. They're 10-1 for a freaking reason. Best O-line, best D-line, best quarterback will win you a lot of games. They land here at number 1. They are the best team in football, period. And that is Angels Heavenly Top 10, brought to you by nobody.
Okay, so let's look at your. I want to look at your top 3 or top 4. Sorry, real quick.
Okay.
I moved the Niners into 2 as well.
Yeah.
I think they've done enough to overtake the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think what you're seeing with the Chiefs, I think, honestly, it's finally time to say it, they have a weapons problem.
Yes.
They might be relying too much on Mahomes and an aging Kelsey, who has shown signs of aging now.
Not the same consistency as
Not
last
the same
year.
guy, not the same explosiveness, not the same plays. Still a reliable safety blanket, still a big play guy as far as like making big plays in the games, not like yardage big plays. Rashee Rice had a game, and he got 10 targets. Maybe that's the way out, but they need something here at receiver to pop because they have the dropsies on the back end of that receiving room. So I think they need to find one or two guys, and doesn't even matter if they're the name recognition star, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, those guys. Yeah. If it's Justin Watson, then put him out there.
Yeah.
They need to start. They do this thing where they play 5 receivers or whatever, and no matter who, if they can catch or not, MVS, those kind of guys. When just pick your best receivers and play those guys, because you're not in a spot anymore where you can afford that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you can't fault it because they spend their money where I would want them to spend their money. Yeah. On O-line, D-line. Yeah. Which is spend their money there. You have Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
But they've missed on a couple wideouts here. So, and it's costing them. They're obviously they're 8.
They're still Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah.
And
but it's costing them the top spot in the league. That's what I'm saying. So,
Eagles, Niners. If the Niners beat the Eagles in a narrow victory, meaning less than 10 points, are they the best team in the league?
I'm not going to decide that until it happens. I don't know.
You got to see it?
I have to see what it looks like. And the world would be watching. It might be the highest rated game and the highest watched game this year.
It's going to be huge.
Because
talk is happening.
It's already happening.
Lane Johnson didn't play this last week with a groin. He's pushing to play.
So is Dallas Goedert.
Goddard's pushing to play with that broken arm.
He literally has a bone broken in his arm.
This means so much to these teams as far as in the locker room.
Absolutely.
It also means a lot when it comes to home field advantage in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, the Eagles going to Santa Clara or the Niners coming to Philly in the playoffs is
a big difference.
Could mean the trip to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's huge. This game is just massive narrative-wise, massive in the media, massive in the locker room, and massive in the standings.
It's going to be awesome.
It is the game of the year so far, the way things have played out.
Yeah, once again, the Eagles are in a marquee matchup on Sunday football. They keep having these games.
That's the only thing that kind of scares me about this game is that the Eagles have just been through a gauntlet.
They're just probably exhausted emotionally.
Just all right, we're playing the biggest game of the week again. It's just... you
know what? If they win Sunday, they're going to lose their next game.
That's the problem with that is that it's the Cowboys, and it's another huge game.
The
NFL schedule makers screwed the Eagles, is what I'm trying to say.
If the Eagles come out of this whole thing with wins, I don't want to hear diddly squat about them not being the best team. I don't know a team who's been this. Their schedule is brutal.
Yeah,
brutal.
The Ravens there at number 4 are kind of the dark horse, obviously, for the whole thing. But I think they belong in this top 4.
Also, it's a bit goofy them being at number 1 because they haven't had their bye week.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's kind of why they have 9 wins. Everyone else has 8.
I see your next group here as the Lions, Jags, Cowboys, and Dolphins. Those 4. I like your order. I think Cowboy fans would be furious that you put the Jags over the Cowboys. No. I agree with you. The Jags are just winning games. They showed up in a huge game. I think the Texans would give the Cowboys a run for their money. It's not like the Texans are you have to treat that game with some respect now. Yeah. With what C.J. Stroud can do and what D'Amico Ryans has cooking down there. And
remember, they only lost because a backup kicker couldn't hit a 58-yard field goal. The Texans.
Okay. Yeah.
No. I'm saying I know Jacksonville. They play tough teams too, and they've beaten good teams.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys can't. I know they're hating me here. You guys can't beat a good team. The Niners, you got freaking bullied. Eagles, you couldn't convert in the red zone. You have to win these games, man. That's how we judge you, by winning games.
Cowboys and Dolphins are really in the same boat there. I don't care which one you have front of another.
They're the same team.
They're the same. Yeah, they're the same team. Ton of star power, and just
can't win it. But
they get real soft and shriveled in the cold.
Jeez, I'm not saying shriveled.
I want to talk about your last 2 teams here: the Browns and the Texans. Who are your teams just out? Do you know?
Pittsburgh.
So Pittsburgh's
right there.
Okay.
The Broncos are right there. The Texans is a big game for them if they want to be in it. But Broncos and Pittsburgh kind of right there. Hang on.
I would have the Texans above the Browns. I think the Browns are just in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah. This is more just because
what they've done,
and kind of they played well against. Their rookie quarterback got hurt. They had to put PJ Walker in, who also sucks. But
Yeah.
that defense is just
They're in trouble right now. I mean, Flacco is their savior at this point.
they are down like 6 starters just on offense.
Yeah. And then Garrett, if he misses any time at all,
It affected their game on Sunday. Tell you that. And Houston's
I feel like this back end of your top 10 has gotten really weak the last couple weeks.
I don't think it's that. I think the top 3 are just shining so brightly.
No.
It makes everything else look less bright.
No, I'm saying like at the beginning of the year, the teams at the 10 were like the Jags. I think we're seeing the effects of the Bengals having to fall off because they lost someone.
Gotcha.
The Browns, of course, no longer have Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
It's just a weaker league now, and we're seeing that in your top 10. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It would have been fun if Burrow and the Bengals were in it and elite made this list a lot harder to
Jets, the Jets,
Jets.
what this list could have been.
Yeah, but injuries just devastate, obviously. And even if the Browns still had Watson, they'd probably still be higher on this list. But quarterback play is everything in the NFL, and they have some poor quarterback play.
Yes. Okay, so that's Angels Heavenly Top 10 version number 13. You only got, 3 of those left?
Yeah, and it's kind of
4 of those left. 5 of those left.
There hasn't been a ton of movement on these lists anymore because you kind of know who teams are now. Like, there's not a lot of hiding anymore.
Well, I mean, there'll be some movement this week, I think.
I mean,
Cowboys, Seahawks,
Broncos,
Eagles,
Texans.
Broncos, Texans. At what point do the Broncos make your list? Oh,
Look, I've been trying to.
How are the Broncos now? They've won 5 in a row.
I've been trying to keep a level head about this.
Hold on. Let me look at your list real quick. Am I taking the Broncos over the Browns? Yes, I am. I have the Broncos at 10.
I'm trying to be objective.
I would have the Broncos at 10 and Texans at 9.
Trying to be objective.
They've won 5 in a row.
Trying to be objective.
Right, then be objective. Like, they've won 5 in a row.
They are.
Any other team that would have won 5 games in a row, you'd have them on your list. I think you're being too careful here.
Maybe I'm being too careful. I just don't want to. I'm very outspoken about my Bronco fandom. And the moment I put them on the list, because you put them on the list because they're the Broncos. No, I just
Then I'll say it. They belong on
okay.
the top 10
Thank
list.
you.
I think they belong there. 5 in a row, the way they're playing, the way the defense is playing.
And Sunday's game, if they beat the Texans in Houston, their next 3 games are on the road. If they come out this game, this road trip, 2-1.
Yes.
Sean Payton. Ooh. My boy.
Let's okay, so that's anything else?
No, just fun
Solid
list. Only 3 or 4 more left, so we'll see.
Should be good. We're getting into a new segment now as we wrap up the show called Fantasy Chatter That Matters. Every Wednesday, we're going to get into this, and I want to give you just some advice.
Chatter.
I want to give you just a little bit of an edge to win your fantasy league. And on today's Fantasy Chatter That Matters, we're going to talk playoff schedules.
Big deal.
Because the basics in your league will not be looking at playoff schedules. Here's Fantasy Chatter That Matters playoff schedules. Okay, so I'm going to give you at each position a couple guys who have really good schedules. And here's how you want to use this. If you're in a redraft league, okay, so if you're in a dynasty league, obviously it's a little harder to trade away a young player who's going to have use for you for the next couple years. Mm-hmm. But if you're in a redraft league and you have someone who has a little more name recognition, is young, but has a incredibly hard playoff schedule, it might be a savvy move to trade for one of these guys who aren't as renowned but have an easy schedule and maybe pick up a couple extra players or whatever, or even put that player with a bad schedule on someone else's team. Now be careful with this because like if McCaffrey has a bad schedule, I don't care.
Yeah.
You're going to keep him. But those middling guys, okay? So we'll start a quarterback here, and I'm starting with your boy Russell Wilson.
Russ, let him cook.
Playoff schedule, I'm talking 15, 16, and 17, right?
Yeah.
That's usual.
If you play week 18, then you're done. You're in a dumb league.
Right. Yes, and there's no advice for you because no one knows what's going to happen.
No one plays week 18.
But as far as 15, 16, 17, Russell Wilson's going to play the Lions, the Patriots, and the Chargers. Yummy, yummy, food in my tummy.
In my tummy.
Yeah, that's a great schedule for Russell Wilson, who's been very efficient. If you have a quarterback who's not going to give you much rushing, which he's going to give you some rushing,
about 30 to 40.
It needs to be a guy who's not going to throw a lot of picks.
Yeah.
And Russell Wilson, that's his formula this year.
Like the safest QB2 quietly in the league this year because he'll throw 1 or 2 touchdowns, 30 to 40 yards, and won't turn it over.
I think you get some QB1 performances down the stretch here with that schedule. Second here is Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford played really well last week. This is all health.
He really did.
4 touchdowns, 1 interception last week. During the playoffs, he has the Commanders, the Saints, and the Giants. Awesome schedule there.
Yummy.
That's the kind of guy that you can go if you have someone. I don't have bad schedules, but if you have someone who has a rough schedule, and has been a QB1 all year. CJ Stroud has a tough schedule, I think.
Yes, he does.
If you could trade away like a CJ Stroud and get like some beast receiver or something and have Matthew Stafford right here playing the Commanders, the Saints, and the Giants, that might be a savvy move. The last one here is Will Levis. Now, Will Levis has struggled, so I want to be careful. But he's playing Houston, Seattle, Houston to end the season there. Might be some games there for you. Let's get into running backs now. Jalen Warren, Najee Harris is my first one. They're playing the Colts, the Bengals, and the Seahawks. 3 teams that really struggle against the run. I wish I could tell you which one to start. They're pretty much splitting carries, but I think either of them are a solid flex play.
Both playing well.
Yeah. Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, there's obviously a caveat. If Arthur Smith isn't punishing the fantasy world, because that's what head coaches in the NFL are supposed to do, these guys might be good starts as well. They're playing Carolina, the Colts, and the Bears.
Just Carolina makes you really, really happy.
Yes. Austin Eckler is going to be a great, great start. Obviously, most people have him anyway.
Struggling, though.
He's been struggling, but down the stretch, so maybe you might be able to go get him.
Yeah.
He's been struggling.
Little buy low.
Yep. He's going to play the Raiders, the Bills, and the Broncos. 3 teams that struggle against the run.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Eckler might be a good play here. And then DeAndre Swift, last for the running backs there. The Eagles play the Seahawks, Giants, and Arizona after this gauntlet's over.
He's very good.
And he's very good,
yes.
and he's been running well against really good defenses.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think once they get down the stretch here, it's going to get cold in Philly. It's going to get cold everywhere else across the league. They're playing Seattle and New York. It's going to be cold in those places as well. They're going to run the ball. DeAndre Swift. They might even want to protect Jalen Hurts a little more. So DeAndre Swift would be a good play there. And then the Yeti, Derrick Henry, down the stretch here, and what might be his final run. We'll see if he's back next year. He's going to play Houston twice and Seattle.
Houston. If you don't know anything about Derrick Henry,
yes,
he loves him some Houston.
Absolutely.
He has his best games fantasy-wise ever against Houston Texans.
Yeah, you might
twice in the playoffs.
Twice in the playoffs, championship game. He's playing Houston as well. So
let's go.
That might be a good one there. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I want to say they're playing Philly, who has been bad against the pass.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee and Pittsburgh, all teams that are thrown on like crazy. You can play DK. I think you can play Lockett. I think those are good guys down the stretch here. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and this is all on Stafford's health. If Stafford stays healthy, they're playing the Commanders, Giants, and Saints.
And they both have bad weeks. Maybe you can even buy low.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring another one of your boys up. Cortland Sutton is the guy there. I'm not going to say Jerry Jeudy because he doesn't get the work. Cortland Sutton is getting targets, and they're going to play the Lions, the Patriots, and the Chargers, like I said earlier. He's going to get work, and he's going to get touchdowns.
Let me tell you something from a Bronco fan who watches every Bronco game. When it comes down to need a third down, need a touchdown, Russell looks to one guy, and that's Cortland Sutton. And he's great in the red zone. He's a big body, and he's good on third down. You can get him for absolutely nothing.
Yes.
He's not a sexy name anymore.
And yeah, exactly. Talk about a savvy move to sneak someone into your flex, or even your wide receiver too. But flex is a nice spot for him, who's going to cost you nothing. No one wants Cortland Sutton.
No.
But he has great schedules and playing well and is getting the work. And Russell Wilson's playing better as the games go by. A couple tight ends here, and then we'll wrap it up. T.J. Hawkinson is going to play.
Man.
Now, we hope Dobbs will be his quarterback.
Stop with this. Stop with this. It's going to be Dobbs.
With Dobbs there, he has led the team in targets. He's going to play the Bengals, the Lions, and the Packers. Juicy schedule there.
Juicy.
T.J. Hawkinson. And then David Njoku is going to play the Bears. I want to say the Houston Oilers. Why do I want to say that? The Houston Texans.
I don't know where you're
and the only thing about Njoku is they plays the Jets in the championship week.
That's tough.
Which is not great.
Maybe you should stream him for a couple weeks.
Yeah, but 15 and 16, the Bears and the Texans. There's a couple guys there for you who have great playoff schedules. Might want to pick them up. And I hope you're in a position to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yes. Some guys you convince. Yeah. I think at this point you know whether you're good or bad or you're delusional. You think your 4-8 team's gonna actually make it.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantasy right now is getting so serious.
Yeah, it's intense.
Sorry to all the wives and partners out there who don't know how intense it gets. Intense,
super tense. Let's look into the Bench Warmers League real quick. I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay.
Bench Warmers League, if you don't know, is a league that we have for
the Shows League.
The Shows League, yeah.
Yeah.
We both play in it, and then 8 other listeners of the show playing it as well. Next year we'll probably have multiple Bench Warmers League because we had a couple people we need to turn away this year. But looking over in this league here, I suck. So we're not going to talk about my schedule.
Well, I just said.
I am 5-7.
Yeah.
That's bad. Currently in 9th place. Where are you, Age?
Probably 8.
You're third.
Yeah, I'm third.
You're third. You're knocking on the door here of a first round bye as well.
Battling quarterback injuries and Justin Jefferson injuries all year.
I want to shout out the top 2 teams here. Number 1 is AJ Woodson, good friend of ours. Glasses, jacket, shirt man.
Friend of the show.
9-3. And then number 2 is they don't have their name here, but it's BJA7. It's been a very competitive league, and I wanted to shout out that league because next year when we start running these leagues, jump in. Because it's going to be fun. Next year is going to be a lot of swag. There's going to be a lot more interaction, a lot more community around it, and it's a good way just to become part of the Benchwarmers family.
Yeah, and I think we'll do little previews of every playoff game in that league because that's some good teams in that freaking league.
Absolutely.
And a lot of friends in that league who I want to beat.
Yes.
Because I can't beat them in the other league.
And I've made some friends.
Yeah.
I've made some of these guys who have joined in as new to the Benchwarmer family. Got to know them, talked some trades with them.
See, there's positive stuff in fantasy football.
Absolutely, there's.
You build a community of brethren.
I have one league where there's some money on the line, and I just feel so much pressure to win to make the hours and hours and hours worth it.
To your wife.
To my wife.
Yeah. Hey, babe, look at that. Boom. Stop some money.
Last year, I won a league for $300. I was like, see, babe? See?
I'm trying to work for us.
That's groceries.
This is for the family. I'm doing this for our family.
I literally am feeding our children.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I didn't say that. My wife does very well for herself. Okay, we are going to do a Thursday Night Football preview. And Cowboys 8-3, Seahawks at 6-5, a must-win for the Seahawks.
Yes.
And a tough must-win. This game is in Dallas at Jerry's World there. The Cowboys are favored by a full touchdown, 7 points. And it's going to be tough.
Yeah, Seattle, they've been embarrassed a couple times in prime time.
Yeah.
They need a bounce back for themselves and for their fan base too, because
big time.
They came out the gates hot, and then now have kind of cooled down a little bit, and people kind of, are they for real? We don't even know if they're a real like contender.
Yeah.
And I thought they would be. This is a must win for them, absolutely for sure.
The Cowboys, it's not a must win record wise. It's a very important game record wise.
Yes.
But narrative wise, it might be a little more important. They need to prove to themselves, because as much as they deny that that's a thing for them or whatever it might be, when you're like for the Dolphins, the same thing. It's a thing in your head if you can't beat good teams. If you're getting beat by good teams and you're beating bad teams, it has to be in your head a little bit of doubt. And so I think in that sense, it's a big game for the Cowboys, and they on paper they're juggernauts, and on the field they've been juggernauts. They've been very, very good. 5th in passing yards, 12th in rushing yards, 1st in points scored, and defensively 2nd in passing yards against, which is bad news for the Seahawks because they're going to want to throw the ball. 15th in rushing yards against, and just 4th in points allowed. The defense is playing well.
Yeah.
They have a top 5 defense, top 5 offense statistically.
Like both of these teams are back to back actually in the NFC and the NFC standings. Dallas at 5 at 8-3, and Seattle at 6-5 at 6.
Huge
because Minnesota just lost that, so that helps them out. The Packers are moving in the right direction. They're outside at number 8. Rams are getting hot. And you don't want to face the Eagles. That's you're kind of wanting to hide from the Eagles and hide from them. So if you stay within 5-3, we don't have to face them. That's kind of where you want to be.
Yeah, and these are two teams too in the same division with juggernauts, and they're probably not going to win the division.
Yeah, so you have to
the
make
Seahawks
sure.
Probably going to take. Yeah.
So now you're just playing matchups. You're saying who do you not want to play? You don't want to play the Eagles. You don't want to play. No disrespect to the Lions and to the Falcons, but
that's who you want.
You play in the Falcons the first week of the playoffs. That's what you want. Exactly.
Dak leads the league in passing touchdowns. He's 5th in passing yards, just 6 interceptions this year. He's playing probably the best we've ever seen him play.
He's playing very well. A quietly good season.
CeeDee Lamb also is playing really well. 2nd in yards, 4th in receptions, and 6 touchdowns to 11 games. Pollard's been a little disappointing, but he's been enough.
Yeah.
And the defense has been fantastic. Parsons with 11.5 sacks. Deron Bland, of course, broke that record last week for pick sixes in a year. He's been a revelation for them defensively. Stephon Gilmore, obviously a stud as well. Let's jump to the other side here, because the Seahawks, the numbers would not match what we think of them talent-wise.
No. They should be better. They should be better than 6-5. Yes, for sure.
They are not top 15 in a single offensive or defensive, kind of the basic stats, the yards against, passing, catching, or passing, running. Points scored, they're 16th, so just out of it, and points allowed, they're 22nd.
Look, I'm not going to put it all on him, but Geno is not the same Geno that we saw last year.
Right.
Maybe this year they finally have film on this new version of Geno. Only 12 touchdowns, 8 picks.
Yeah.
That's not elite. That's barely average quarterback play.
Yeah.
You can't win games in the NFL. That's why they only have 6 wins. You can't play like that and expect them to be elite. It's just disappointing. They should be better. And this is a perfect get-right game. This is a good Cowboys defense.
I feel like on offense, we can point toward Geno Smith. 12 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, not going to get it done. Yeah. But you could point at them because that's the obvious link there. They've gotten better on the O-line.
Yeah.
The weapons are amazing, of course, so you can point there. Defensively, I don't know why they're not one of the best units in the league. I don't know why they're 22nd in points allowed because they have talent at every single level. Bobby Wagner's playing like prime Bobby Wagner. Devin Witherspoon has been in the running for Rookie of the Year defensively all year. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just it hasn't clicked. They haven't found that second gear. They got to a hot start, but they haven't shifted to the next gear where you show yourself as a true elite team. This is a big game. This is a huge game for them. This should be the biggest game in their whole. This should be their playoffs. It starts right now.
It's a true must-win
because you don't want to fall too deep into the 6-6 because then you're right. Then you're tied with the Vikings, with Green Bay, the Rams, the Saints, all one game behind you.
Yeah,
that could easily snowball into we lost 2 games in a row and we're fighting for a wild card. So you have to win this just to maintain a sense of let's catch our breath here a little bit. If we beat the Cowboys, we have a nice gap between us and the wild card. So
should be a good game. Hopefully the Seahawks come in here and look themselves. The Cowboys, this is it. I mean, you cannot lose this game.
No.
If you lose this game, it looks very bad.
And the narrative continues: you can't beat good teams or teams over 500.
Do you think there's any chance of a trap game here because they know they're playing the Eagles?
No, Joey. No.
Next week? Why? That's not an eye roll thing. You're playing the best team in the league next week. You don't think you could maybe look past the Seahawks?
This is prime time. Jerry's got these boys revved up for this primetime game.
Maybe. That's our show for today. Thanks so much for...
Who are you picking?
God,
what is wrong with you?
But that's not a big... I can do it in 5 seconds. I got the Cowboys.
You gotta go pee or something? I'm picking Seahawks.
That's our show for today. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you Friday. We'll recap this game. Should be a good one.
Oh, boy.
And then pick games for Week 13.
Let's do it.
See you then.
Bye.